I'd like to take a few minutes to just go through what's going to be on the final exam. In a face-to-face class, I would do this, so I thought it's appropriate to do it in this class here. When you look at this final examination test page, you're going to find some information. First part, you're going to look at this matrix, and let's bring up this matrix right here. Actually, it kind of gives you a feel for what you can expect to find on the final examination. I'm going to ask you to demonstrate the public health system. When I'm talking about the public health system, it's this document here, this that we actually looked at early on in terms of with the health department in the middle, but all these other things and what that really means to look at the broad concept of the public health system. I ask you to look at that, and there's some multiple choice and all of that. Now, when you look at this part up here about the recall is actually that's what you're going to find on the multiple choice test. The application and evaluation, those are the pieces that I'm looking for you to bring out in the online essay or the homework exercise that I'm asking you to do. So anyhow, just kind of looking at that, we're going to talk about the public health system. There'll be a few questions about the public health system. Item 2, when you're looking at the 10 essential services, you're going to be looking at the core uh, the 10 essential services, which is first of all assessment, second of all policy development, and third of all assurance, and how that works around the circle there. Then I actually look at each one of the individual modules, whether it's monitoring, and then we go around those modules. And I think one of the other documents that I have in there, which may help you with that, is to look at this here, and that's the second document which is in that page. In essence, gives you a cliff note discussion of each one of the 10 essential services. When in the multiple choice matching, there's several questions related to this particular portion. So I think it's important to bring that up and review that, and also the map, the graphic in terms of the what you have there. So if we go back to the this here, actually going to give you a public health issue. I'm going to ask you to develop some objectives and goals. We have some multiple choice questions related to that, but also I'm going to ask you to develop 2 SMART goals. And again, remember how a SMART goal is developed and use all that format. And then you should be in approximately 2 sentences or 2 or 3 sentences, not just the list S. Some of you have done that in the past. You do SMART, but actually write those down. Now, on the multiple choice, you're going to have 30 minutes to do that, and on the online essay, you'll have an hour and a half. So you should be able to have plenty of time, and I found that most students in the past have had plenty of time to finish this. You're going to look at developing strategic plans, and there'll be some multiple choice questions related to strategic planning and all of that. Over here on this side, we're going to be talking about that's in the homework assignment, and I'm developing that through the homework assignment in terms of that whole evaluation. Explain various organizations, and that's also part of the homework, and that's a continuation of 3 core functions here. And the 10 essential services, you're going to have they're really up here in number 1, up here where you're doing the demonstrating and the multiple choice and matching. And looking at rules and laws and all of that. Again, it's some multiple choice questions, but also there'll be a topic where you need to develop a policy statement. It's important to understand, and from a management point of view, how to develop a policy statement related to a public health issue. You're going to be looking at a public health issue that I'm going to present in the essay portion, and I'm going to ask you to look at 3 barriers to that and how to overcome those barriers. You'll be asked to look at the incident command structure and in the multiple choice, but also you'll be asked to look at where would you fit if there were an emergency in a community you lived in and you were working in the public health system somewhere. How would you see yourself being a part of that? And also remember that as I said, that with the future of public health, the presentation I made that for Tony Lawson, there'll be some questions related to that because we didn't have any of that there was no quiz. And that gives you an overview of what's going to be on the final exam. On the multiple choice matching, what happens is it has a 30-minute timer. If you go beyond that timer, I then have to go in and manually grade that. So don't panic if you run 30 minutes and 20 seconds and it doesn't give you a score back. I have the ability to go in and grade that. So I'll grade those as soon as I can. Finally, I'd like Finally, I'd like to take a few minutes to just go through the homework assignment that you'll be completing uh, for the final exam. What I've done is gone to Healthy People 2020, and we're going to take the most of the essence of the 10 essential services, and we're going to actually develop, or you're going to develop those based on one of the topics. So what I'm asking you to do is go and take one of these topics, select which one ever interests you, whether it's reduce coronary heart disease or reduce the stroke deaths, or in terms of also having blood pressure monitored and all that, and go through that. There is some background information contained within the file, and you need to read that and kind of look at that and be familiar with that, and it'll help you answer these questions in terms of how you see that. So I've actually just gone through the 10 essential services. I've left, if you go to a page down, I've skipped the first two because we've got some information already laid out in the base documents that I put within the file. In terms of inform, educate, and empower, I need to have you tell me who your target population is, and then if you can look at this, you'll see that what I've done is I've actually just gone back and asked you to repeat what you did in individual modules and your exercises. Yeah, so you do the inform, educate, and empower, to mobilize. Tell me especially what 10 stakeholders you want there, and I really want you to tell me why you wish to have them on the advisory committee. Develop a policy in terms of what kind of mechanism you're going to be using, and then it just goes down through the same thing. Linking people to services, look at the barriers, workforce development, a little mini gap analysis in terms of that topic you're looking at, and then finally evaluation. How would you, and how you're making sure you're doing the right things. Research, select one of these 7 topics here and tell me how it relates to your topic in terms of linking people. Are people receiving medical care they need in terms of this one of the topics? I'm not asking you to do all 7, just select one of them.